All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce to you Miss Kimberly Mays, who is all about teaching you how to shine online. And she's going to share 3 tips and strategies with you today. Let's give her a round of applause and welcome her.
Thank you everyone. So one of my sayings is shine online. So shine online just really means just that. Being able to put yourself out there, particularly in an online business, and just really being able to promote yourself and being proud of doing it. So I have 3 tips for you. Can I share?
Yes.
All right. So number one should be obvious, right? When you go online, you start an online business, you really want to just take a look at what you've already put out there. So my tip is to really just do an audit of your own personal social media pages, anything you've already published. Now, for most of you, I know that there's nothing out there that's bad or scandalous or anything, but just in case you may have something that will not resonate with your ideal clients, or maybe if you have something controversial, you may want to just keep rethinking of how you're going to put yourself out there personally, because you are an extension of your brand. So you just really want to make sure that you have that all taken care of and that is tidied up. But you can still be you. I'm not saying don't be you, but just really think about you as an extension of your brand. Now, tip number 2 that I want to really talk about, spend most of the time on, is about being strategic with your postings and the content that you put out there. So to be strategic, I mean, everything that you post online, you have to have a plan for. So when you have a plan, then you can kind of guide the person to what it is that you want them to do and how you want them to respond. So I'm going to give you an example. An example of this is I have an Instagram account which I post affirmations, sayings, and other little things. And I do that strategically because I want to attract the right people, coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers, and I know they like that stuff. So I'm not just putting it out there to entertain folks, I'm putting it out there to attract people. So once I get their follows, I follow them back if they are a good fit. So I don't just follow everyone back, I follow the right people back.
Right.
And then I post every now and then, maybe every 4th post, I will do a call to action or some kind of sale or some kind of promotional item, just to let them know that, hey, I also have a business too. So that is part of my strategy. So, you did ask me about, scheduling.
Okay.
You did ask me about scheduling and things like that. So I do have a scheduler as well. So I have particular days where I do my list building post, and that's evergreen. Then I have particular days where I recycle my blog post, my evergreen blog post. And then I have particular days where I will do a time-based promotional post too. So that's all automated for me. And I know tomorrow Zakia will talk about systems, so I'm not going to go into that. That is going to be a special treat, something that you'll be able to take away. But I just want to just say, be really strategic about it, and just know that you don't want to attract everybody. So I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they're worried about the number. They're worried about how many people are following them or liking their page. And that's really a vanity metric. It means nothing, because so what? You have 1,000 million followers. If they're not buying from you, if they never buy from you, then who cares? So that's why I've never invited my family to like my page, because they're not going to buy anything from me. So, while I appreciate the support, they don't need to follow me. So I would make that a goal to really just think about putting out the content and the hashtags out there that would attract the people that want to buy from you.
That's
Yes.
That's good. That was just good, right?
That was tip number 2.
Yes.
So now I'm going into the third one. Third one is good too. The third tip that I have for you is, okay, so you have a website. So a lot of people put out a website because it's another box to check off when you have a business, which is great, it's cool. But I think of a website more than a brochure. It's a living, breathing online home for your business. So a lot of mistakes I see people do is, number 1, they make it all about themselves and not about their clients. And then another thing I see them do is really, they don't think about how that website can make them money and work and help them within their business. So it's technology, right? So, if you have a website out there and you don't have any way for that person to contact you or to get in touch with you, if they don't know how to take the next step, then that's a problem. So what I do is I help a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, really think about the customer journey from when they get to that landing page to when they get to that contact page, because it really is a journey, right? You may get to any page within the website, but ultimately you want to funnel that traffic into a contact page, and then from beyond, you may want to link that to a calendar, you may want to link that to your CRM, you may want to have some way to collect leads or from something from your website. So there's a whole nother technical aspect out of your website that you may be missing out on because you haven't thought about it. So yeah, it's really nice to have a pretty website, but a pretty website doesn't necessarily convert. And so nobody's going to be impressed by, you know, moving objects and all these funny things that sometimes I get asked to put on the site. But it's really knowing that you can solve the person's problem and they know that you're a good fit for them. And they know how to contact you, and that they do what you want them to do. So, I know that I finished a little bit early, but I just want to know if anyone has any questions for me. Okay.
So I've seen a trend lately where there's background videos.
Mhm.
So you go to a website and the entire background is like a motion video.
Mhm.
I don't know how much file space or whatever the case may be, because I know it's important that your website loads very quickly,
Yes.
right? But the visual of the video
Mhm.
looks very up to date, modern, stylish. So I wanted to know your thoughts on the background videos and this new trend of having websites with a whole video background.
Yeah, so I think having a video in the background is good as long as it doesn't consume too much bandwidth, because then that will slow down the site. And it's also good to show the right kind of background video. So, you know, if it's something that's completely irrelevant, then it's not going to resonate with anybody. So if you're a speaker, you may have a background video. I did a website for a lady who's a speaker, so I had a background video of her just looping through and she's talking to people. There's no sound, but it kind of shows her in action. And I think that's really powerful to get people to stay on the site. But as long as it's relevant and doesn't take up too much bandwidth, I think it's good. It's one of the trends that is still being used. Any other questions? Oh, one in there?
I have a question.
Okay.
So you talked about a call to action a couple times.
Mhm.
And can you give me an
Mhm.
example of a good call to action and then call to action that you've seen that was kind of like
Yes.
not good?
All right. A good one is, you know, click here to download your free guide to whatever. A good call to action is book your strategy call. So something very specific that they know exactly what the outcome is once they click that button. A bad call to action is subscribe to my newsletter. That is boring and nobody's gonna do it. I've tried it, it doesn't work. So don't do it. And click here doesn't really work either. Click here to verb is the way to go. I got 36 seconds. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up. So, you know, those are my 3 tips. I hope that really served you in some capacity, got you thinking a little bit. I would like to talk to a lot of you if that is something that you would like to do, if you would like to work together with me. You know, I am booking new strategy calls for the rest of the year, or if you need something else like a logo or some other design, there is Kevin right there. He's the logo guy, so you can go to him as well. And, you know, I'm available all weekend to take any questions.